Wrestling legends come and go, and when they go, they tend to leave a void in the hearts of fans. WWE knows that this is a recurring problem, so to work around it, they usually introduce a new superstar or try to establish a settled superstar as the one who fills in the great man's shoes. Of course, more often than not, the fans can see right through the gimmick and don't buy it. Here are 7 superstar copycats that failed miserably. Number 7, Chuck Palumbo as Vintage Undertaker. Before The Undertaker was the dead man, he was given the persona of a redneck who was the principal member of a motorcycle gang. But the WWE decided to scrap that idea because it just didn't work out. Either because The Undertaker didn't like it, or because it just wasn't getting the response from fans. But sometime after the dead man had established himself as the phenom of wrestling, the WWE decided to bring back the American biker persona in the form of Chuck Palumbo. In vintage Undertaker fashion, he drove up to the ring on a Harley Davidson and had a no-nonsense attitude when it came to delivering promos. But Palumbo's American badass career was short-lived, as there were just other better mid-tier superstars that took the stage. Number 6. Mason Ryan as Batista. In 2011, the WWE would debut Mason Ryan to take on the role of Batista. Not only did he have the same physique, but he even had a very uncanny resemblance to the animal. However, because he was so closely associated with his doppelganger, he didn't make any substantial progress in establishing himself as a bona fide superstar. He was moved to NXT a year later, but eventually quit the industry altogether. Number 5. Sin Cara as Rey Mysterio. Sin Cara was signed to the WWE in 2011, and if the resemblance wasn't clear enough, it was obvious he was filling the void left in the company by Rey Mysterio. His matches were slow and not well executed, which is why he didn't have the fans on his side. In 2014, there were rumors that he would have a rivalry with Rey Mysterio, and the Master of the 619 would pass the proverbial torch. That didn't happen, and Sin Cara was quickly released by the WWE. Number 4. Ryback as Goldberg. Ryback was presented as a superstar in his own right after separating from the Nexus. But during his debut in 2012, fans soon realized that his demeanor was a spitting image of Goldberg, and his mannerisms and promo deliveries in the ring were also an imitation of the legend. He would face low-tier superstars to build up an undefeated streak, much like Goldberg. But after 38 consecutive wins, he lost to CM Punk at 2012's Hell in a Cell. While he was still popular among the fans, he was released by the WWE in 2014. Number 3. Roman Reigns as John Cena. When the Shield split in 2014, the WWE shifted things around so that Roman would become the new face of the company. He was in many ways very similar to the early John Cena. Keep in mind that during this time, John Cena was still a full-timer, but there were rumors that he would be leaving the company for Hollywood. And so, the WWE needed a replacement for the wrestling legend to fill the void. Reigns unfortunately came up short because while he did deliver decent promos and was an adept wrestler, the fans could see through the facade that the WWE was trying to establish through him. They decided to tweak the character a bit after his underwhelming reception at the 2015 Royal Rumble. Number 2. Dolph Ziggler as Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was one face we couldn't quite put our finger on. Over the years, they tried to bring in many wrestlers to fill the great man's shoes, first taking a gamble on AJ Styles. When it was clear that Styles had established his own persona, they went with another substitute, Dolph Ziggler. The show-off did exude the same vibe and for the most part had the same repertoire as HBK, but the only problem was he wasn't a fan favorite. While the WWE did try to push him to become the face, he never really brought the charm and charisma to the ring that Michaels did. And coming in at number 1, Austin Theory as the next John Cena. Now this one is just based on speculation, but Austin Theory's character might be molded to fit the early John Cena persona. It's clear that the WWE is trying to push the athlete to the front lines, but with Roman Reigns at the helm, there isn't much room for Theory to try and make a move to establish himself, and the company desperately needs a new Cena. So they seem to be putting their money on the Theory to win the favor of the fans. So there you have it, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching.